Hello, good day. Welcome to my math class. I am teacher Casey. For our objectives for today, we're going to talk about find the product of rational algebraic expression, find the quotient of rational algebraic expressions, find the sum of similar and dissimilar rational algebraic expression, find the difference of similar and dissimilar rational algebraic expression, and the last one is we're going to solve problems involving rational algebraic expression. Our topic is all about operations on rational algebraic expressions. Let's have our showtime math testing.
Anumang lahi, anumang kulay, sama-sama sa tagumpay. Umulan man o umaraw, kahit ang dulo ay di matanaw. Anumang hirap ng buhay, pangarap ay tagumpay. Ituloy lang ang sipag, sa dulo'y kikislang.
Let's have this one. So 3/8 plus 5/8. So we have here a fraction or a rational number. So all we have to do is you need to get the sum of these two rational numbers. Oh, as you can see here, what kind of fraction is this? This is similar because we have common denominator. Parehas tayo ng number sa ilalim. So that means similar fraction po siya. So all you have to do if we are adding similar fraction, you just copy the denominator, yung 8, kopyahin mo lang, and then you just simplify or add the numerator. So that is 3 plus 5 will give you 8. And you simplify 8 over 8, this will give you 1. Okay? Let's try another one. How about if we have 5, 8 minus 1, 6? So as you observe, we have the similar fraction this time because we have different denominator. So as you can see, yung first fraction natin or yung first rational number natin, 8 yung denominator niya, 5, 8 minus 1, 6. Yung second rational number natin, 6 yung denominator. So dissimilar tayo. We have the similar fraction. So if we have the similar fraction, we need to find the least common denominator or the LCD. So, yung ating goal ay magkaroon tayo ng common denominator. So, for you to be able to find the common denominator, of course, find the common multiples of 6 and 8, and that is 24. Kasi, di ba, 8, 16, 24. O, stop ka na. How about 6? 6, 12, 18, 24. So, meaning, meron ka ng common denominator, 24, di ba? Then, after that, you're going to divide the LCD to your denominator. So, 24 divided by 8 will give you 3. And you multiply the quotient to the numerator, which is 5. So, 3 times 5 will give you 15. Again, yung nakuha mong LCD, i-divide mo sa denominator na 8. So, 24 divided by 8 will give you 3. Tapos, yung quotient na yun, i-multiply mo sa numerator, which is 5, di ba? So, 3 times 5 will give you 15. Kaya meron tayong 15 dito. Next, yung 24 po, i-divide mo naman sa 6 naman po. So, 24 divided by 6 will give you 4. Ito times mo siya sa 1, so this will give you 4. Ulit ha, yung LCD na nakuha mo, i-divide mo siya sa denominator. Ito yung 6, di ba? So, 24 divided by 6 will give you 4. Tapos, i-multiply mo siya sa 1. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng 4 dito. And after that, you're going to just subtract the numerator because you already have a common denominator. So, that means 15 minus 4 will give you 11 over 24. Just copy your denominator na 24. And that is the answer if you're going to subtract 5 eighths and minus 1/6. Okay? How about if we have 3x plus 5x minus x plus 7? So, all you have to do is you just combine like terms. Ano ba? Paano ba natin ma-identify yung like terms? Meron siyang common literal coefficient and of course, yung literal coefficient po ay common variables with exponent. Okay? So, dapat pareha sila ng letters and the power or the exponent. So, as you can see, ang common terms natin dito ay we have 3x plus 5x minus x. Di ba po, si 7, hindi po yan pwedeng isali kasi po wala naman po siyang x. So, 3x plus 5x will give you 8x. Simplify mo, add mo siya, 8x. Ma-minus mo daw ng x, so that means meron tayong 7x na lang. And you just copy the plus 7. Yan, that will be the, this will be the simplified form of this. Ayan, 7x plus 7. Next, how about if we have 5x squared minus 6x plus x minus 5. As you can see here, ang common terms natin dito, yung negative 6x plus 2x. Teacher, bakit hindi kasama si 5x squared? Kasi po may squared po si x. Dito po wala. So that means, ang simplify nyo muna ay si negative 6x plus 4x, plus 2x rather. So that means, you just copy the 5x squared and simplify po natin yung negative 6x plus 2x will give you 4x. Tama kasi different sign yan, subtract, diba? Then minus 4x po ang sagot and then just rewrite lang din po si minus 5. Alright, let's proceed to adding and subtracting similar rational algebraic expression. Okay, in adding or subtracting similar rational expressions, add or subtract the numerators and write the answer in the numerator of the result over the common denominator. In symbols, we have a over b plus c over b is equal to a plus c over b, where b is not equal to 0. So let us have an example. Let's have math for all,
All
for
for
one.
one for all. All for one. All for one, one for all. All for one, all for one. All for one,
Okay, we're under addition of rational algebraic expression. We're going to add 3 over 6b plus 1 over 6b. So as you can see, we have common denominator. Ano yung denominator nila? 6b. So that means kapag meron tayong common denominator, kinokopya lang po natin yan and isi-simplify lang po natin ang numerator. So that means the simplified form is we have 3 plus 1 over 6b, all over 6b. You combine like terms in the numerator. So we have 3 plus 1 will give you 4 and then you copy the common denominator which is 6b. So that means we have 4 over 6b and then we factored out the numerator and denominator. So we have 2 times 2 all over 2 times 3b. Okay? Kasi 2 times 2 will give you 4, right? 2 times 3b will give you also 6b. Tama po yung factor natin. So, make sure lang po na yung ang factoring natin ay all prime numbers. Take note of that, prime numbers. Simplify po natin by canceling po yung common factors between numerator and denominator and the remaining factors will be 2 over 3b. Copy? Alright, so let's proceed to subtraction of rational algebraic expression. So we have x squared plus 5x minus 20 all over 3x squared plus x minus 2 minus negative 10 minus 6x minus 5x squared all over 3x squared plus x minus 2. So as you can see here, we have common denominator and meaning we have similar rational. We are subtracting similar rational algebraic expression. And if we have common denominator, all you have to do is just copy the common denominator and you simplify the numerator by combining like terms. So as you can see here, we're going to have x squared plus 5x minus 20 plus 10 plus 6x plus 5x squared. Why? Bakit po teacher nagpalit ng mga sign to? Naging yung minus 10 naging plus 10, yung 6x naging, 'di ba? Ang rule natin sa sign when we are subtracting integers, 'di ba? KCC, keep, change. O, papalitan natin to ng plus sign, kaya naging plus yun. Tapos ito pa, lahat po ng sign natin, ng subtrahend, ay papalitan natin. Okay, this is your subtrahend, di ba? Yung mina-minus natin. So, yung negative 10 na yan, magiging plus 10. Yung negative 6x natin, magiging plus 6x. And of course, yung negative 5x squared natin, magiging positive 5x squared yan. And of course, all over 3x squared plus x minus 2. Copy the common denominator. Alright, next. The next thing that we're going to do is, of course, ayusin natin para makita natin yung like terms sila sa kanila. Isa-lansa natin yung mga terms ng ayos para mas madali natin makita yung like terms. And of course, combine like terms in the numerator. So we have, of course, ang common dito ay x squared plus 5x squared. This will give you 6x squared. Yung 5x plus 6x will give you 11x. Sila ang magkasama dyan. Kasi hindi natin pwedeng isama si x squared tsaka si 5x squared kay 5x tsaka kay 6x. Bakit po? Wala naman po kasing squared si 5x at tsaka squared si 6x. So, hindi sila like terms. When we say like terms, dapat meron tayong common letter or variable and of course, the power or the exponent. And of course, re-write lang po natin si ito, simplify po natin, hindi pala po i-rewrite. Di ba, to minus 20 plus 10, i-simplify natin yon. So, this will give you negative 20 plus 10, this will give you negative 10. And just copy the common denominator na 3x squared plus x minus 2. Next, ano susunod na gagawin? You factored out the numerator and denominator. So, ano ba yung factor natin dito? So, we are factoring quadratic trinomials where a is greater than 1. So, as you can see, we have 6x squared dito. 'Di ba? 'Di ba? Syempre, we have meron tayong process or steps na I already discussed to you on how to factor quadratic trinomials where a is equal to where a is greater than 1. So, meaning, ang magiging factor natin numerator ay 3x minus 2 and quantity 2x plus 5 all over. Factor din natin yon yung denominator, quadratic trinomial din po siya where a is greater than 1. So, magiging factor po niya ay quantity 3x minus 2 and quantity x plus 1. And of course, simplify by canceling the common factors between numerator and denominator. So, ang makakancel po sa kanila ay 3x minus 2. Ang matitira, yun na po yung simplified form natin. So, we have 2x plus 5 all over x plus 1. Copy. Can you follow? How about if we have adding and subtracting the similar rational algebraic expression? So that means meron na tayong magkakaibang denominator. Nag-a-add tayo, nagsasubtract tayo ng rae ng magkaibaang denominator. So what are we going to do now? Alright, so in adding or subtracting the similar rational expressions, change the rational algebraic expression into similar rational algebraic expression using the least common denominator or LCD and proceed as in adding similar fractions. So, ganun din po, no, yung normal natin ginagawa. We are going to find the least common denominator or the LCD before we add and subtract the similar rational algebraic expression. So, kailangan natin, ang goal natin ngayon, magkaroon tayo ng common denominator for us to add and subtract this rae. Okay, let's have this one. So we are adding rae 3 over 2x squared y plus 1 over 3xy squared. So as you can see, di ba, meron tayong magkaibang denominator or we are adding the similar rae. So ano yung goal natin? Magkaroon tayo ng common denominator. Paano natin kukunin yon? By finding the least common denominator or the LCD. So yung 2x squared y, ano mga factors yan, di ba? 2 times x times y. Yung 3xy squared rather, we have 3 times x times y. Tapos, kunin lang natin yung 2 times 3 niyan. Yung numerical coefficient niya. So, 2 times 3 will give you 6. Teacher, bakit x squared, y squared? You just get the highest exponent. Yung literal coefficient with highest exponent. So, that means x squared and y squared. So, that's why, meron na tayong LCD na 6x squared, y squared. And after that, you write each rational expression in equivalent expression. So, ang target natin, of course, yung first first rational natin, first rae natin dito, kailangan na maging denominator niya ay 6x squared, y squared. Anong gagawin? So, yung sa 2x squared y, multiply mo siya sa 3y. So, ibig sabihin, pag nag-multiply ako sa denominator ng 3y, magmumultiply din ako ng 3y sa numerator for you to have a equivalent expression. So, that means, pag minultiply ko si 3 times 3y will give you 9y all over 6x squared y squared. Kasi 2x squared y times 3y. So, 6x squared y squared. As you can see, meron ka ng equivalent expression or yung LCD natin na 6x squared y squared. Ganon din yung gagawin mo dito sa pangalawang rae natin na ina-add. So, we have 1 over 3x squared, 3xy squared rather. So, i-multiply mo both numerator and denominator by 2x para magkaroon ka ng denominator na 6x squared y squared or what we call the equivalent expression. So, by having 1 times 2x, we'll have 2x. And 3xy squared times 2x will give you 6x squared y squared. So, as you observe po, meron na tayong common denominator. Pwede na tayong mag-add, di ba? And of course, by combining the numerator over the LCD, we have 9y all over 6x squared y squared plus 2x all over 6x squared y squared. This will give you 9y plus 2x all over 6x squared y squared. So, hindi natin pwedeng i-combine si 9y plus 2x kasi magkaiba po sila ng literal coefficient. Copy? Alright, let's try another one. So, we have a plus 1 all over a squared minus 5a plus 4. And we're going to subtract it to 1 all over a minus 1. So, unlike na naman po yung ating denominator, di ba? So, kailangan nating hanapin ang kanilang LCD. So, as you can see here, ayan. Finactor niya to. Yung a squared minus 5a plus 4, ito yung factor niya, di ba? Ano yan? Factoring quadratic trinomial where a is equal to 1. Think of a factor of 4 that will give you the sum of negative 5. And that is negative 4 times negative 1 will give you positive 4. Pag pinag-add ko siya, negative 5. So, that means yan yung maging LCD natin, di ba? And of course, ang susunod ay you write each rational expression in equivalent expression. O, kung natin sa equivalent expression yan. Paano daw? Yung multiply ko to by 1 over 1, both numerator and denominator, para magkaroon ako ng yung common LCD nila. Yung least common denominator nila, rather na least common denominator nila na quantity a minus 4 and quantity a minus 1. Saan daw nanggaling to? Ito yung factor nito, yung a squared minus 5a plus 4. 'Di ba? Kasi kailangan itong sinasubtract nyo, meron din siyang, of course, obviously, meron siya din dapat na a minus 4 para may pareha sila na LCD, 'di ba? So, ganito siya. So, meaning to say, para mahanap ko yung equivalent expression niya, i-multiply ko lang yan. Kasi, obviously naman po, magiging denominator ko pa rin yung factor nito, 'di ba? Yung a squared minus 5a plus 4, i-multiply ko lang siya. So, as is pa rin siya, 'di ba? Next, yung second, yung subtrahend ang ating kailangan i-multiply kay a minus 4 all over a minus 4. Of course, kasi po, 'di ba a minus 1 lang siya? So, kaya nga siya naging dissimilar, 'di ba? Unlike denominator sila. So, kailangan magkaroon siya ng a minus 4 para parehas na sila ng denominator. So, i-multiply mo siya to have the equivalent expression of this rational algebraic expression. So, yung a minus 1, i-multiply mo kay a minus 4, kaya magkakaroon tayo ng quantity a minus 4 and quantity a minus 1. So, yung a minus 4, i-multiply din natin sa 1, so that means meron tayong a minus 4. So, next step po, of course, we have by combining the numerator over the LCD, kasi meron na tayong least common denominator, similar fraction na sila, similar rae na sila, so ganito lang siya. Ayan. As you can see, ayan, minus na natin siya. And of course, ano magiging sagot natin ay 5 all over a squared minus 5a plus 4. Stop. Let's proceed po to multiplication of rational algebraic expression. So, we are all through with addition and subtraction of similar and dissimilar rae. Let's have multiplication of rational algebraic expressions. Alright, in multiplying rational algebraic expression, you multiply the numerators divided by the product of the denominators, where b and d are not equal to 0. So in symbols, we have a over b times c over d. This will give you ac over bd, where bd is not equal to 0. Kasi nga po, pag naging 0 yung denominator mo, undefined na yung sagot mo. Okay? Let's try this one. Let us multiply this rae. 4a squared b all over 3bc and 27b squared all over, 27b squared rather, c cube all over 16a raised to the 4th power. So, ano ba sabi dyan? Anong sabi niya sa step? Prime factorization and cancel the common term. So, ipa-prime factors ko lahat ito, yung numerator natin and denominator. So, magiging prime factors nito, of course, ang prime factors natin, ang dapat na factors or numbers na lang na makikita ko ay prime numbers. Ano ba yung mga prime numbers? Ang factors niya lang ay 1 and the number itself. So, we have 2 times 2 times A times A times B. Yan yung 4A squared B, di ba? So, yung 27B squared C cube, 3 times 3 times 3 times B times B times C times C times C. Okay? Then, the denominator po, 3 times B times C. And of course, yung 16 po ay 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times A times A times A times A. And of course, ano susunod na step na gagawin natin? Tayo ay magka-cancel ng common prime factors between numerator and denominator. So, binilugan ko na. So, ibig sabihin, meron din yan sa denominator. Bilugan ko rin yun sa denominator. Ayan. Para silang may 2 times 2 times A times B times 3 din, diba? Ayan. Ayan, binilugan ko na. Ano, meron pa bang common? Ayun. So, yan. After that, ito ang matitira. May naiwan pa ba? Ayun, si C. Dapat cancel din si C dito, oh. Ayan, dapat wala rin si C dyan. Ito. Cancel din apat to. Ayan. Cancel din siya kay C dito. Ayun, hindi ko nasama yung bilog niya. Ayan, kasama dapat. Dapat ang matitira lang natin ay, of course, ay 3 times 3 times B times B times C times C. And of course, yung denominator po, 2 times 2 times A times A. Okay, kasi na lang yun, walang makakaparehas. Okay, next po, syempre, simplify lang po natin siya. So, we have 3 times 3 will give you 9 times B times B times C times C. 9B squared C squared all over 2 times 2, 4 times A times A, 4A squared. So, the simplified form of this is 9B squared C squared all over 4A squared. Okay, how about this one? So we have 3x plus 6 all over x squared minus 9 and 5x minus 15 all over x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay, under pa rin tayo ng multiplication of rational algebraic expression, ha? Okay, anong gagawin? Again, kailangan natin siyang i-multiply. O, paano natin i-multiply yan? So, of course, tayo po ay magpa-factor. You factor the numerators and denominators. So, pag finactor natin yan, ito, yung 3x plus 6 po, CMF, diba? Common sa kanila 3, quantity x plus 2, kaya nasa labas ng parenthesis. Yung x squared minus 9, difference of two squares yan. So, ang factor niya ay quantity x plus 3 and quantity x minus 3. Okay, yung naman pong isang, ano natin, product. Yung 5x minus 15, ay factors rather. 5x minus 15 all over x squared plus 5x plus 6. Ang factor nito ay, of course, 5 CMF yan eh. Quantity x minus 3 all over quadratic trinomials where a is equal to 1. So, ang factors nito ay quantity x plus 3 and quantity x plus 2, of course. Then, ano po yung next step natin? You cancel out the common terms. So, okay. Ano makakancel sa kanila? Of course, yung x minus 3. Ano pa? Meron pa ba? Of course, yung x plus 2, teacher. And of course, yung remaining factors po ay, yun ang magiging sagot natin. Kasi 3 times 5 will give you 15 all over x squared plus 6x plus 9. Kasi pag sinimplify mo tong x plus 3 na to, ang magiging sagot dyan ay x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed to division of rational algebraic expression. So, tapos na tayo kay multiplication. Tapos na rin tayo kay addition and subtraction of RAE. Similar and dissimilar yon. Okay, now, in dividing rational algebraic expression, multiply the dividend by the reciprocal of the divisor where b and c is not equal to 0. In symbols, we have a over b divided by c over d. This will give you a over b times. So, magpapalit na siya ng sign, di ba? Magpapalit na pala siya ng operation rather, hindi sign. Magpapalit na siya ng operation, magiging multiplication na siya pagkakuha mo ng reciprocal. Ano ba yung reciprocal? Binabaligtad yung numerator and denominator. Ano yun lang yung kukuhanan mo ng reciprocal? Yung kanyang divisor or yung second rae. Okay, yung second rae po ang ating tatanggalan ng papalitan, gagawin ng reciprocal. Babalik rin sa numerator and sa denominator. Tapos multiplication na po ang operation. So that means, ang magiging result nito ay AD over BC where BC is not equal to 0. Let's have this one. We need to divide this rational algebraic expression 2a squared b all over 3c divided by 8abc all over 3c cube. So, ano ba yung step 1 natin? You multiply the dividend by the reciprocal of the divisor. Ano ba yung divisor na sinasabi niya? Ito po yon. Ang divisor na sinasabi niya, yung second, ayan, yung second, uh, rae na nakikita nyo, yung dinidivide, okay? Tapos, papalitan mo yung sign ng division to multiplication. So, that means, magiging 2a squared all over 3c, tapos po, times na po tayo, 3c cube all over 8abc. So, as you can see, binaligtad ko yung numerator tsaka denominator. That is what we call reciprocal, okay? Next, prime factorization na ulit. O, yung prime factors ko si 2a squared b, 2 times a times a times b. Si 3c cube, ganun din po. 3 times c times c times c. All over. Yung mga denominator naman yung prime factors natin. So, 3 times c. Yung 8abc, 2 times 2 times 2 times a times b times c. Okay? Next. Kakancel lang po natin yung mga common prime factors niya between numerator and denominator. Of course, cancel natin lahat. Ayan. Ayan. So, that means ito lang po yung matitira. A times C all over 2 times 2. That means the answer for this is, by you simplify AC over 4. Okay? Next, let us have m squared minus 2m minus 15 all over m squared minus 9 divided by m squared minus 6m plus 9 all over 4m minus 12. Okay. Ano sabi? Kukunin mo natin yung reciprocal nitong ating divisor. Okay. Babalik mo sa numerator at denominator. Tapos papalitan mo yung division sign ng multiplication sign. So, yan po yung sinasabi niya dyan. So, magiging ganito siya. M squared minus 2m minus 15 all over m squared minus 9 times. Di ba, binaligtad ko yung numerator tsaka denominator. Magiging 4m minus 12 all over m squared minus 6m plus 9. So, yun ang una mong dapat gagawin when you are dividing rational algebraic expression. Next, i-factor na. I-factor natin yung numerators and denominators and cancel out the common factors, of course. So, ano ba yung factor nitong ating numerator na m squared minus 2m minus 15? Oh, so, ano yan? Quadratic trinomials where a is equal to 1. So, quantity m plus 3 all over, and quantity m minus 5. Anong factor ni m squared minus 9? O, difference of 2 squares yan. So, quantity m plus 3 and quantity m minus 3. O, doon tayo sa divisor na kinuha natin na reciprocal. Ayan na po siya. Si mf tong 4m minus 12, di ba? Ang common factor sa kanila, 4m matitira sa loob ay m minus 3. O, di ba? Yung denominator ay quadratic trinomials where is equal to 1 ulit. So, ang factors na ay quantity m minus 3 ay, rather, this is PST. Sorry. This is PST or perfect square trinomial. Kasi may square root yung first term natin, tapos may square root yung last term natin. Tapos ang maging sagot natin, square of binomial. So that's why we have m minus 3 and quantity m minus 3. The next po, ika-cancel lang natin yung common factor sa numerator and denominator. So yung matitira, yun po yung magiging sagot of 4. So m minus 5, quantity m minus 5 times 4. Kasi yung tira, diba dito? Then m minus 3 times m minus 3. So ang simplified form natin ay, pag simplify natin, so we have 4m minus 20 all over m squared minus 6m plus 9. Okay? Okay tayo dyan? Proceed tayo sa next one. Okay, let's proceed to word problems involving rational algebraic expression. So, we are all through with our operations, di ba? Yung for fundamental operations natin sa RAE, under RAE, nagawa na natin. Sa word problems naman tayo yung application natin ng rational algebraic expressions. Okay, I want you to take note of this. The steps that may help you to solve word problems systematically. So we have the word, I want you to remember the word arts. A stands for analyze the problem, read the problem carefully to identify what is being asked and what are the given facts. R stands for represent the unknown using a variable. And T, translate or write an equation. And of course S, solve the equation. State your answer. Arts, okay? Let's have our problem number 1. Ayan. Are you familiar with them? Of course. All right. For our problem number 1, Sam is half of the age of Mary. The sum of their ages is 30. How old is Sam and how about Mary? Kung ilang taon na ba si Sam tsaka ilang taon na si Mary. Ang condition sa problem, pag pinag-add ko yung age ni Sam tsaka ni Mary, 30 ang total. Pero tandaan natin na yung age ni Sam ay kalahati ng age ni Mary. Okay? So, we are going to form an equation by, di ba, let x natin, or yung unknown variable, lalagyan natin yung unknown variable, magle-let x tayo. Di ba? Yung unknown, ano natin, i-represent natin na sa variables. So, let x be the age of Mary. And of course, yung x over 2 be the Sam's age. Kasi, bakit x over 2, teacher? Kasi nga, di ba sabi niya, ang age daw ni Sam ay kalahati ng age ni Mary. Di ba, ang age ni Mary ito, x. Divide natin sa 2, yung x, kaya magkakaroon tayo ng Sam's age. And of course, pag ginawa natin yan, yung equation natin, di ba may condition na pag pinag-add ko yung age ni Sam tsaka ni Mary, 30 ang total. So, x plus x over 2 is equal to 30 siya. Okay? Next. Susunod. Syempre, we are adding rae dito na dissimilar kasi ang denominator ng x ay 1. So, hanapan natin ng LCD. So, syempre, ang LCD niya ay 2. Divide natin sa 1, times natin sa x, kaya 2x. Yung 2, divide natin sa 2, 1 times x, kaya x po siya. So, kukuha na lang natin, or lalagay na lang natin yung LCD natin na 2. So, of course, meron na tayong isi-simplify yung 2x plus x, kaya magkakaroon tayo ng 3x. Copy the LCD is equal to 30. And of course, ano susunod? Kailangan natin siyang find the value of the variable. So, paano natin gagawin yan? Of course, di-divide ko to. Yung 3x na to, syempre, is equivalent to 2 times 30. Okay? And of course, ang susunod natin, pag sinimplify natin, so we have 3x is equal to 60 kasi 2 times 30 is equal to 60. Okay? Then divide both side by 3. Kaya 3x divided by 3 and 60 divided by 3 will give you what? Of course, we have x is equal to 20. Okay, 20. Okay? So, meaning to say, meron na tayong age ni Mary. Ayun ang age ni Mary ay 20, di ba? Mary's age is 20. And of course, yung Sam's age po, ang gawin lang natin sa kanya ay, di ba, ito yung x over 2 natin, yung Sam's age. Yung 20, divide natin sa 2, so that's why you have 10. So, tinan nyo, pag pinag-add ko, 30 ba ang total? 20 plus 10, so 30. So, that means sama. And kalahati po, daw, di ba, yung age ni Sam, may kalahati na age ni Mary. Kalahati ba ng 20 ay 10? Opo, tama po. So, that means tama na po yung ating solution sa ating problem. Okay? Let's try another problem. So, what is the perimeter of a square lot if the measure of one side is 2a plus 3b all over a plus b? So, solution natin ay, of course, b is equal to 4s. Saan nanggaling to, teacher? It is the formula in finding the perimeter of a square. Can you still remember that? Ito yung formula ng finding the perimeter of a square. P is equal to 4s. And of course, di ba yung isang side daw natin, ayan, the perimeter of a square lot, if the measure of one side. So, yung isang side po ng square, ng lot ay 2a plus 3b all over a plus b. So, yung S stands for the one side of the square lot. Of course, square naman siya, so all sides are equal yan, di ba? So, by having this one, yung formula, p is equal to 4 times natin sa isang side na 2a plus 3b all over a plus b. Bakit po? Kasi di ba, all sides of the square are equal. So, yan lang po yung, i-apply lang natin yung formula ng perimeter, finding the perimeter of a square. So, meaning to say, pag sinimplify natin siya, p is equal to 8a plus 12b all over a plus b. So, yun na po yung perimeter ng ating, this is the perimeter of the square lot. Okay? Copy? Okay, for your reflection, just have your comment to our Google Stream. Then, lagay lang po natin dyan yung I understand that, I realize that. And thank you and God bless you all. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the notification bell para updated kayo sa video nila ina-upload ni teacher every week. Of course. Bye-bye. Thank you and God bless you all. Ingat!